What's up, everybody? Midjourney Fast Hours podcast, episode 58. And Rory, we got like a little bit. I saved this for you. I didn't tell you about this pre-show.
Huh. Okay.
We hit 30,000 subscribers on YouTube over the weekend.
Yeah. Yay! Thank you, everyone, for hanging out and just coming back and dealing with our nonsense and our chaos and our ADHD and our whatever else you want to describe this as.
Yeah, just like a therapy session that you guys didn't sign up, but you are the therapist and we are your patients.
That is correct. That is correct.
Yeah, man, it looks like people listen. Even the dog walkers out there, we're liking and subscribing, man. So feel blessed, dude. I mean, we've been doing this, I think officially a year and a half now. Episode 58, almost at the end of the year, home stretch of 2025. Lots going on. A lot. We were just talking about that pre-show, like just every week, man. I mean, it's just how do you keep up, man? I mean, how do you keep up? There's always things dropping every week, different tool. Some of it's hype, some of it's legit though. You know, that Nano Banana Pro thing we were talking about last time. I mean, just completely changes how you would approach certain projects, certain deliverables, certain things that you're trying to create. I mean, just so I'm excited, man. We've got a lot to talk about today. And yeah, first of all, though, I do want to just quickly check in on your Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1 experience.
Did I watch it twice already? Yes. Once by myself and once with my wife. Yeah, I totally did. It was again, like everyone's got their own opinions. I'm pot committed for however many years it's been. I have fun with it. I'm just like, this is my fun show. So like, I don't care what the plot line. I'm not like going to criticize the writing or like the direction. I'm just like, let me just have fun. As long as it stays fun, I don't care. So I've had a great time with it.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And
like,
you know, leading up to it too, did you watch like revisit any of the episodes? I know I did. Like I went back and watched
100%.
Season 4. And then you had sent me a link to where the creators were like, hey, watch these episodes. There were a couple in Season 2. I think I watched one of the two. But it is a fun show, man. It's a fun show. I mean, the fact that they released 4 episodes, I mean, it's like, come on, man. You know I'm going to watch these in one day. And now I got to wait another month for the next 4 or the next 3 or whatever it is. Dude, I love the show, though. I mean,
it's fun. This is what it is. It's just fun. Like... it's a over the top.
It's unique,
ridiculous.
Dude. It's unique. I don't know that there's another show quite like that one. I have been hearing some things about the It show on HBO, the dairy, like the prequel to It, the movie. There's a show on HBO now. You heard about this?
I haven't heard that one.
I haven't watched it yet, but a couple people, like I've seen a couple people say that it's pretty good. So that might be worth it. But yeah, man, I think this is such a unique show and just a fun show to watch. And you know, kind of like what we talked about before, like that coming of age era of children, you know, is just kind of like a cool little timeline for a story too.
Even though everyone's like 30 now, but like,
right.
It is what it is. The one thing I do notice going back and watching a lot of this stuff is like, maybe when the last season came out, I wasn't as heavily invested in like the technical piece of, you know, the filmmaking side of it, where I'm not necessarily looking at the filmmaking, but I'm looking at the composition, the lighting, like the way that they shoot things, and I'm looking at it differently. And it's, you know, I like it. Some people probably don't, but I'm looking at, you know, there's certain scenes where, you know, everyone, you know, there's a certain like lighting source and everyone's painted blue or everyone's painted red, or there's like a very distinct framing of the way someone's, you know, putting his scene. And I'm like,
yeah, now you're
much
looking at it from
detail.
A different lens. Yeah.
And you appreciate it because you know how much detail goes into that, especially, you know, we're doing it on AI with words. They're doing it in real life. And that's like even more, you know, 1,000x for one shot of what we're doing, maybe more than that. But I just look at it and I'm like, there's like cool things you can extract from that if you look at it from that frame. And I was, you know, definitely playing around with a few things that I saw, especially on I wish I could just like go and extract some stuff and maybe like, you know, take a little bit of, you know, token extraction for a few of them. But I was like, oh man, some of this stuff's so good. And they have like these really good, I don't know if you remember the one scene, I think when they they like saw through the spoiler alert. They like saw through the floor, but they're looking up. They're looking up from like the basement to the upper level, and there's like the floor comes in at a point, and then there's like the four of them on each side, and it's like just an awesome framing, like looking up at the corner of the room with the four of them sort of fanned out like that on each side.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just sick shot. Like it's just a great sort of view and like creative. So, I get excited when I look at stuff like that because I'm like, all right, like let me see, how would I do that? Can I do that in Midjourney? Can I do that in Nano Banana? Like just to sort of like direct the frame in that way. Because you're just like always trying to break stuff, right? That's sort of how I look at this. But, always tie stuff back to AI, guys. That's what we do here.
That's what we do. That's what we do. Yeah, I was on Instagram, and there's like people that are, I guess there's like a whole group of people that are just out there like Nano Banana prompts, and I came across a few that were very specific for Stranger Things.
Really?
And they were actually pretty good, like in terms of like I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. See if I can. Maybe we got an idea here for our next thumbnail.
Good.
There are a lot of people doing these, and funny enough, like some of them look alike too. So it's like, who actually created this? Somebody's copying everybody else.
This is good. This is good. Top of funnel material right here. Looks like everyone's doing the same exact ones.
See,
correct,
but still pretty cool. I was like, yeah, it's kind of neat.
I like that one,
but
I like that last one with the Eggos in the background or whatever that is with the blue light. That's good. Like that's solid. I mean,
those are fun though. It's just looking at those.
Totally, and that's if you guys aren't doing that kind of stuff, not to just like do for your own work, but just to like learn. You know what I mean? Like that's to me, I like to take those movie shots and sort of like, let's reconstruct this and like take it apart, see what's in here, like, and then go and rebuild it. Like we've talked about a million times, but I think it's those posts no longer hold no value. I think there's some things like I feel like they used to hold no value. Like here's this prompt for this totally random thing that I created that'll be useful for anything.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like I think the pop culture component that's pretty cool too. Like especially like if you're just like easy win, if you're a marketer or somebody like that that's playing with these tools, like that's an easy way. Like you could just apply that to your brand, meme type stuff, or like just it's a new way to sort of like tie into pop culture besides just memes, right?
Yeah.
So I think like that would be an interesting, easy way to think about it. But yeah, I like that somebody was kind of like applying that very pop culturally. We kind of saw that with Severance too, a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it,
But now with Nano, right? Like, and it's such a big deal. Like I'll show you something later with the branding and typography and just like the way it can apply in certain instances, which I was like, this is so crazy that I can do this.
It's crazy. It's
like,
crazy. It's crazy.
I was applying branding to a car, but like the way that I did it was using old vintage print ads and then applying the aesthetic to the car, and it like totally transformed it in a very cohesive way. And I was like, okay, it's just way more comprehensive than I expected. But hey, that's where everything is. And then we get 1 week of that before it's like, here's this new Kling model. Runway's dropping apparently, the most highest rated video model on LM Arena, and that's like, well, remains to be seen. We'll see. Kling 01 was sort of like hyped up as like the game changing sort of technology that's going to change all of video, which it's good. I wouldn't say it's like I wouldn't say it's Nano Banana style of like change, but yeah, man, it's just like I would love to have like a month to play with some of this stuff before something new comes out, but we get about 3 days. So got to sift through it. Also, good water bottle, by the way. We want to thank Midjourney for sending these over. If you guys can't see this,
our non-sponsored sponsors.
Non-sponsored sponsors. So,
we appreciate it. Yeah, I mean,
yes.
I don't have the jacket near me, but sent over volume 1, so we got that,
which is awesome.
First episode issue. Got a hat.
Here's white. I got a blue one.
Yeah, got a nice handwritten note.
Yeah.
So I mean, like that was awesome. Appreciate Midjourney for doing
Super
that.
cool.
Shout out to our guy Mateus too, who always on the lookout. But yeah, man, this is. Let's start with Midjourney. Let's get into it like we always do. Maybe we start with office hour notes. I know you and I, like, did you get a chance to do office hours? I know I was pretty wrapped up with some holiday stuff. So
Totally
Okay.
gone at that point.
Well, this will be good for anybody that didn't catch it because there's actually a lot of like interesting things in here. So first thing I thought, like everything that I thought was probably most relevant here is highlighted, but switching from paginated rounds to a continuous scrolling flow to reduce confusion UX.
So like how Grok does it, is that what that means? Or
That's where my head went.
paginated rounds. I mean that does make sense because that's sort of how, like, we were talking about how
Would you describe those
that.
as paginated right now though in the create tab?
I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if I've ever heard the word paginated. So
Right.
go off what
Like,
I guess that means.
Because I mean, like I don't know. I guess I don't. When I think page, I'm thinking I have to click something to go to a new page or drag or something. You know what I mean? So I don't really think of it like that. But maybe that's what it means. I don't know. But that sounded really interesting because we were just breaking that down a couple weeks ago with the Grok piece, and how that sort of lays out known limitations. So there's color control, UI metaphors, rounds concepts will be addressed. So I was just immediately drawn to these two words here. Color control. Are we going to get hex codes? Are we going to get Sherwin-Williams paint colors? Are we going to get Pantone? Like, are we going to get that? That would be
cool.
A nice little thing to have for sure. Also pointed out that there's another major style creator update coming in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So important to note, we're recording this live. We'll also post this to YouTube, but this is Tuesday. There will be an office hours tomorrow. This is from last week's office hours on the 26th. So this is 6 days ago. So this could be either this week or next week in reality in terms of that next style creator update. Long-term goal, just to reiterate, is moving toward prompt less or low prompt image creation. Is this prompt less or prompt less? Because that would be a big difference too.
Having a hard time with some of these, some of the vocabulary here today. But
yeah.
Speaking of that, have you played with Grok anymore since the last time that we were talking about it?
I think I played with it right after, but I haven't gone back since then. So it's probably been a couple weeks. Yeah.
Because if it's going to be like that, I'm kind of, I don't know why I'm like a little bit drawn to it, but it's fun, like adding one piece at a time, like to your prompt, and then just sort of like flowing, and then like adding another piece, and then flowing, and then adding another piece, and not necessarily, writing it all at once. Like sort of, I don't want to say it's like quality control, but you're not going like all in and then basically going back and finding out what went wrong or what needs to change. It's more so of like a flow state. So it's like sometimes if you just, if you're just typing in like cinematic or Stranger Things, then it's just like, high angle. I think it strings together like high angle and Stranger Things if you keep like in the flow state sort of mentality here. So I was doing that with you, and I was really into it.
So this is what we're talking about with that scroll piece of it. And then if I remember correctly from when we were doing this too, it's like you can click into one and you get a little bit closer to that specific look.
Yeah. It's like the smart search almost.
Yes. Yes. Good comparison. Yep.
And I think it's a cool, I mean, like it is a cool interface. Like if it's going to be like that and you're generating like, I mean, how many images are, like I said, I don't remember if it's sort of like pulling from a database of similar based on your prompt, or if it's like creating all of these in real time. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But
I mean, yeah, because I mean, even look at this, right? Like we typed in Stranger Things, clicked on this one. Now you can kind of see the prompt. It's a tense film still from Stranger Things with Joyce Byers holding a flare in the dark industrial setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is interesting. If you go back to the main image or the main, type in like high angle now and just see if it strings together Stranger Things and high angle.
You mean in this box below?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I put it in this page, will it treat it as a new search or adjust to what I have. Yeah, you're right. So it adjusts to what you have based on the screen that you're in.
Yeah. So then you can keep going. Like it's like, it's like additive prompting,
Yeah.
but in a flow state way, which is sort of interesting, right? Um, it's just it's a different experience, which is why I was kind of like drawn
Totally
to it,
different.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe if that's what they're doing, that would be pretty. That'd be pretty legit. I'd be down with that.
I mean, it's interesting. There's a couple things in here that are just like, oh. So, there's that piece of it. Let me skip down here because these two, I think, were the things that really stood out. Edit models.
Yes. Let's go.
Again, I don't have any context because I wasn't on office hours. But this is what's in the notes, right? So new systems coming, working on 2 parallel edit models. One is a multi-reference edit model. So it can ingest many reference images, possibly dozens, useful for constructing consistent scenes, characters, props. Nice. Okay.
What we need. Yeah.
Number 2, instruction-based single image edit model. Edits one image based on instructions. Nano Banana.
Awesome.
Let's go.
That's
something where you can stay in that platform, make the adjustment, right? Like this, I think, helps alleviate some of that problem with Midjourney stickiness right now, because right now, most people are just creating that origin, original, seed, foundational shot or whatever it is, and then they're taking it somewhere else. This keeps you back in the platform. So I thought those were 2 really interesting things that caught my.
Here's one thing I will say about this though, is I would be really disappointed if this showed up and it was awesome and then they switched over to version 8 and they're like, oh wait, we have to update the whole system, you can't use it anymore. Like, you know how they did that with some features where it's like, let's get the upgraded version, and then it's like, oh, you can't use that function because it only works on V6 architecture or whatever.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Damn it.
That's a really good point, because I wonder how much of that will continue to be a factor after they do V8, because and again, I'm not an engineer or developer, but it sounded like they're sort of like reconstructing and redesigning a lot of the infrastructure of this thing. So is that going to continue to be the case? Because I agree, man. I mean, I don't know that they can continue to be slowed down like that. Because as we've seen with these model jumps, right? It's like, okay, these will already be, coming with the model, but this, and this will have to wait. Right. And I think to your point, like you don't really want that to happen at this stage.
It feels, I don't know if this is like Kling, like released an editor model today, like Kling, not Midjourney, Kling. Reeve has an editing model. Flux 2 has an editing model. Nano Banana has an editing model. Runway has an editing model. It's like, all right, guys, like this is the next move. We have to get this one done. And it has to be good. Like that's it. Like I'm seeing the tide, like not the tides turn, but like the social tides turn on Midjourney for this. And I can't say I disagree, because it's just something that we love the aesthetic and we love playing in there, but we do want to play with certain things within it, not like take it out and then have another subscription and have another thing, another place to go. So, there's one thing I've just been, banging the table for. That's it. It's like, and it should be easier with video. I feel like I'm not an engineer, but it feels like a lot of these models that do really well on the video side, like as they're generating so many frames, like it becomes easier to make the edits because you can generate the video. That's what you're doing, right? Like it's generating 24 frames a second for 10 seconds. You're generating,
which are again 24 different frames.
Correct. 240 frames in each individual video that's generated. So it's like, okay, like if that can be done, then potentially the image editor can be done. Whatever. Just saying.
That's. I mean, I wasn't on the office hours, but I was very delighted to see this in the notes. Very delighted.
It's the top request from the users, right? Like every request is something that's similar to that. So good. Excited for it.
Future overhaul on SRF style reference system. They're just basically calling attention to current limitations with that. Weak prompt adherence, sometimes accompanied with style references. We know that. Okay, V8 development. So we did get confirmation. They started training. Will take at least a month. So this isn't happening. We're not getting V8 in the year 2025, the year of our Lord. It's happening in 2026. So January, January, maybe February. I know.
So it's like, wait, what? But that's,
Caught you off guard.
that the final training run, that's normally like good sign. Typically, that means we are close. That means we're very close to some. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's mid-January, but never know. There was V7 had like 85 delays.
Yeah, I remember with V7. Remember they had started training run and then something happened and they had to start over.
It's like data corruption or something like that.
So one other note here that I think is especially relevant, talking about kind of Midjourney playing catch up in a few areas. Better text handling. What is better? What does better mean? Because
okay, text handling.
Like if I would have seen great, I would have felt great.
Yeah.
Better makes me feel like it's a slight improvement.
Mm-hmm.
And is slight improvement enough to satisfy the needs of what we got going on here? Because, these changes are happening so fast. I mean, I think like now with Nano Banana, I mean, like the text is so damn good. It's not perfect.
So good.
It's not perfect, but it's getting close.
Really good though.
And so, like if that's not close to that, it's like, then I don't even care. You know what I mean? Like I just don't care right now.
Yeah. And again, we didn't know we wanted text until we had it. Then when we had it, it was like, well, okay, now I really like it.
Just like, I mean, yeah, we're both seeing it, I think, too, in some of the things that we're creating personally, but also in our work too. Like I know for me, that's been a game changer. I was talking just to you, I think a couple weeks ago, it was just about like trying to get a bunch of things flat laid with the, all the right variables in there, 8 to 12 things, making sure there's just one of those things. They're in the right sort of construction, and then also having text on top of that labeled in the right place. Right. And it's just like, couldn't handle it, and then now Nano Banana Pro, it handles it. I mean, it handles it. It completely changes, right? It's like before that would have taken me probably 45 minutes, an hour to do one image in that aspect because I couldn't put it all together in one step. I would have had to piecemeal this thing, right? And then QA, making sure I got everything in there correctly, blah, blah, blah. Now that cuts that, down from, to probably like 10 minutes, right? It's like, I just need to quality check it, run it a few times, boom, done.
It's so nice to have it though. Like even there's certain things where it's like you just want to like even with Nano like upscaling, like putting something in 4K and some of the words are like slightly blurred and you just say crisp the letters and it's just like shroomp, and it gets it and like doesn't screw anything else up. And I'm like, you used to have to go to Photoshop and like so much effort to get that done, which is so nice to have. Like little small, I was using this on a bottle product the other day. It was a really small text at the bottom. And of course, it wasn't coming through, and then you can use Nano to just crisp it up without having to do it. And I'm like, great, thanks.
Fucking great,
so easy.
Yeah.
But this is, I do want some text, not be like. I think mostly because it has to be translated in some way, like into the design. Like if you're wearing a T-shirt with text on it, and not because you're doing marketing, but because your character's wearing a Nirvana T-shirt or whatever, like it has to nail that. Like if you're doing stuff for, to me, it doesn't have to be like all marketing. Like we have to have like infographics in there, but it just like it has to be able to handle stuff that has text or maybe generated, like just in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think the product thing is interesting too, right? Like no one's using Midjourney for product related stuff right now. Can't. I mean, you're going to give yourself a headache if you try to do that. Just things like that. I think that's the name of the game right now for Midjourney. And I think it's an interesting place for them to be because they've done things differently for a lot of different reasons. And for the most part, that's been a really good thing. The challenge, though, that presents and the dilemma is on this business aspect side, which is where it's a lot of where a lot of the money is. It's where a lot of the use cases are, right? Like people can still go to Midjourney and have a lot of fun. We both do that. We also do a lot of work, and we're not alone. And the number of people like us is only going to expand. And the business use case, I mean, you're just giving up so much when a lot of those things aren't currently capable inside of Midjourney. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just curious to see how they go about that.
It probably, you know, I'm guessing a lot of the casuals are going elsewhere. You know, like the people that are just like, yeah, I like the, you know, the fun of it. But then again, there's only so long you can pay for something where you're not actually like using it on a day to day. You know, it's to me that's tough. And then, you know, now you have sort of a lot of these other tools that are doing stuff for free, Grok for free, Meta for free. You know, so it's a little bit hard, I think, to just capture that audience as what it used to be, was like, oh, this is the only place where you can go have fun and use this stuff. Now there's seemingly
other place
every
to have fun.
place has. Yeah. And it's just like everyone's wheeling and dealing stuff in. Like, you know, I see like Artlist has like Nano Banana in it. I'm like, what? You know, it's like everyone's got image and video generation in their tools now because everything's got an API. And it's just like, wouldn't expect Artlist to have image creation, but there it is. You know, it's like
that's a good point, man. Yeah.
It's not as gated as it used to be, or like contained to certain places. Now it's just everywhere. Like
it's everywhere. WhatsApp. It's embedded.
Yeah.
You know, Rory, I just like thinking back to, man, based on when AI was, you know, really just kind of being released mainstream. It's still hard to imagine that it came after sort of the creative element much earlier than most things.
Yeah.
I just had a feeling it wasn't going to be like that. It's been exciting to be a part of that, right? And obviously be a part of the journey. I'm just like, but there are just so many other things that could have been a priority above sort of like that creative aspect. But I'm just, it's interesting to see where this has taken us. You know, creative got disrupted so unexpectedly and so fast, and it pissed a lot of people off. There's still pissed off people out.
Yeah, it's still keep getting the hate. You know, every once in a while, throw up something random on Twitter just to like have fun, and then you get like the full on onslaught. Like I actually had someone that was legit like go in on me the other day, and I was like, damn it, you are like, why did you have to see of all the posts like this stupid one that I did? It was just like me being ridiculous, not the other technical stuff that takes like some thought.
Right.
So I was like, you know, you're like a legit,
but they might have and cherry picked it, you know, like it's just, and God, part of me loves to go back and forth, and then part of me is just like, I almost love to just be like, man, I hope your day gets better, bro. Like,
yeah,
you literally just came here to try to pick a fight with a stranger with very little context, and that's how you want to spend your time, just going back and forth. Like, it's a weird thing. You know what I mean? And
it is.
Partly, there's sometimes I enjoy that, and there's sometimes where I'm just like, bro, just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, I hope your day gets better, bro. Because I know deep down that sort of pisses them off. You know, it's just like, what are you doing?
I write the comment then delete it. I just like write what I want to say and then delete it. Like not like send it. I just like write it
cathartically,
out.
Yeah.
Like, right, I'm good. No, I'm good. Just delete it. Then now interesting loophole I found. There's just one idiot on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn you can't block business pages. So if you just, you know, that's like the new way to troll. You can block personal profiles.
Whoa, you can't block business pages?
So it is a fair game. You can these people can just come and go as hard as they want to. But maybe I shouldn't have said that on here. But maybe
that's wild.
Before we start getting crushed. But yeah, you know, there's some things that I'm just like, you guys are really picking the wrong battles here. There's no reason to get upset over some of this stuff that is just obviously purely for fun. Hey, that's how it goes sometimes, but can't win them all. Twitter's been actually better than LinkedIn in some instances of troll hate.
It's you know what it only gets to the troll level once you've gotten a certain level of traction with the post, right? Because it goes beyond your followers and it goes beyond the lookalikes, and then it gets into, okay, this is, mini viral or viral. And that's when it just gets spanned a little bit wider. And then you get into the haters, right? It's almost like that's the third layer on purpose of the algorithm.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we're going to go people that follow you. Then we're going to do lookalikes. Now we're going to get into the people that fucking hate you. And here you go.
Has to be baked into the algorithm because it's like creates discourse, and that's what this tool
creates. Discourse, yeah, back and forth.
Yeah,
yep.
Has to, but yeah, there's been. I see you're on the.
You want to switch gears to the Nano side? I think we probably should, man. I mean, we covered this right after it dropped. I can't remember how many days we had. Not many.
Like one.
Yeah, but I mean, like the use cases, bro, they're just out of this world. I mean, we can go through a lot. Sorry, you got to look at other things that are bookmarked that maybe aren't related, but like there's just so much here. So many like just interesting use cases. We were talking, like I was giving you the example of the flat lay ingredient, like just all these different variables. Okay, it can do that. I think knolling is making a strong comeback, right? Yes. Because knolling was one of those cool things you could prompt for early on in AI, where it looks neat and it's top down, straight, and everything's arranged in an aesthetic way. But the problem was you get items in there that weren't real items, or just like the mechanics were off or something was off, right? Now, this is the first time ever, I think, like you can do knolling and have it hit without edits, right? Like that's insane. We also talked we did talk a little bit about 2 of the Midjourney launches last night. You normally do the thumbnails and all that. I edited the podcast, put that up, and then I was like, you know what? We should break out these 2, features that we covered as short little videos separately. Was able to use the references from our past thumbnails. You sent me the text, right? Characters, and put those into a thumbnail, right? Like thumbnail creation now.
Insane, so much easier,
right? Like, so there's shit like that. There was also this little thing I was going down where I was basically taking cartoon references and just like putting it into a realistic photo. And then obviously you could do the opposite too, right? Like this was like a character. It's really hard to see.
Is that Andre 3000?
No, it's not. But it was really dope. So that was sort of fun, right? It's just like you can basically change any style that you want on the fly. You just have the reference image. So this was a cartoon image, put it realistic. That was a fun one. I'll tell you one other thing I was doing the other day, which was kind of cool for us, was I put in our podcast episode timestamps and chapters.
Whoa. All right.
Boom.
I like that.
Kind of puts it into like a whiteboard illustration. I thought that was kind of cool, right? Like, I mean, there's just so many cool things. I loved these little city things. I'm sure you've seen those.
Yeah, those are good.
With the weather, the isometric look. And then I'm going to show you one other thing here if I can find it. Oh, this was that other thing. I did share this on X. But it's like you could find any sort of like movie poster, typography style, whatever it is, simple prompt, right? And you've got like basically I took a Midjourney image, turn this into a movie poster using the style scene in this, call it this, boom, right?
Graphic design stuff's insane.
Insane.
I did not think that was coming this soon.
Insane.
It's really good.
It's like, reference
again,
image.
You don't know you want it till you have it. It's like, I do want it now. Now I want more of it. Finding out different ways to utilize it.
This is, I mean, it's just like really good. Like, I don't know how interesting this will be to other people, but like I do some things with like food, for example, recipes, putting it together, right? You can basically give it all the ingredients, boom. All right. But not only that, like, let's just say I put this image in, right? And then now I can go in and fine tune these. What if my client wants these as darker, what do you call these? Maraschino cherries? Okay, I can do that, right? If I need to change the texture of something, right? So like maybe I needed this to be a little bit thicker or darker or browner or stickier or whatever it is, right? Boom,
Mm-hmm.
right? So before you would have to start and reprompt this thing entirely, right? Like now you just need to get it 75% of the way there. Something you're happy with, whether that's the composition, the subject, the lighting, whatever it is, and now you've got all the other variables at your disposal that you can just prompt and iterate on in real time, right?
It's the best.
It's just crazy.
That's why
It's
we
crazy.
need a Midjourney. If you're listening, that's why this is just, it saves all the things that you like when you don't have to regenerate or just like edit with like a paintbrush. It's like, okay, you can like play with this image and it can be a million different things. You know, that's sort of where it's like very intuitive. Like it's a very smart tool. Like it figures stuff out, which to me is nuts. I don't know how it does it, but it's definitely seen some really interesting stuff. It's great with, I think we talked about this last time, the micro changes. Like I've been going even further into that, and it's really like apply, like very small portions of the picture. I think it's much easier to do when it's 4K.
Let's go into that. Do you want to pull up your instance on that, or because I think that micro piece is really interesting.
There's, I don't know if
also, I mean, just the image generation of this is the closest thing to realism I think I've seen.
It's really, really good.
I mean, what?
What Nano wasn't good at last time around was like, it was very, 2.5 was good. It wasn't great at like really dynamic, like composition, framing, like motion, things like that. It was very sort of stale, but did the job in that sense. Like it was good, but it was very like reliable, if that's the way to put it, without being like a little bit creative. So
I mean, look at that.
Definitely pushed it a bunch.
Like getting the text on the buildings too. It's not like I was prompting for that, right? But it decided to put something legible there. I mean, just this is crazy, right? I mean, this is really, really interesting. And again, I think there's the component of making things look like professionally shot. There's also these candid sort of everyday amateur shots, which a lot of brands are leaning into too, because you also want things to look very approachable and normal in that set. So there's a place for both things, but it's just, yeah, man, it's been impressive to see that leap too, just from Nano Banana to Pro.
Yeah, it's really legit. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that I've been doing where I'm just like, I can't believe this is so easy now, because it used to be a week ago. Was doing edits for a project, and it was like I got back the client feedback, and it was all these little micro things, and I'm like, oh my god,
you're just like, oh,
it's like 100 pixel change. Like I'm gonna have to flex my Photoshop skills on this one. I'm not gonna be able to fix it, because it's, there was certain things where it required, there was something within a glass container, right? And there was something that needed to be added underneath a certain food item within a glass container. So it's not just dealing with like, move the car, turn it, like rotate it like 30 degrees. It's like something needs to be inside a glass container, under something else, fit with the current like dimensions of the glass container, and then like, match the rest of the scene, the lighting and whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like if you ask for the hardest thing to do with AI, that was it. And it was sort of like also like show your work, like do it with AI, which I did eventually figure it out. It was just, I would have rather done it in Photoshop.
Dude, 100%. Like that is such a big thing. And like when you're talking to clients, he's just like, how big of a deal is this, right? Because now we got to take like 3 extra steps. Does this really matter or not? And I'll give you like, here's another interesting one where it's just like, okay, I had an image. Let's find the original one. It's just like this eggplant Parmesan stack. Feedback. We need to make the cheese more brown and bubbly. Boom.
Okay.
Make the cheese slightly brown and bubbly. Remove the spoon. Boom. Done. You know what I mean? Like, keeps everything else the same. I mean, it's just insanely powerful if you guys are doing anything for client work. I mean, it's just insane. So this is where I've been living, man. Been living in there. And
it's even crazy with depth. This is one thing I was playing with, which I was impressed with. Is like, let me share this. Playing around with some truff edits over here. But yeah, I was using like this picture, right? Like this is really small text, right? Like I started with this image where I wanted, the four in here, like lined up side by side. I thought that had some good like vertical sort of lines, and then I could play with it, right? Look at that damn text. Like
Mm.
how hard have we been? It's like I was like, oh my god,
It's
you gotta
not.
be
It's
kidding
not.
me.
It's not overlaid on there. It's embedded in the
No, it's in there.
material on the label.
Which is, and then I'm like, all right, let's stagger it so we get some different lighting. Even the lighting on here nailed it, right? Then let's put it back in the distance, close, right? Not still not there, but that's really far back in the image for a 3:4 image. It did get hotter sauce, like really small. Look, that's
Go back down to it. Go back
go
down to
back
that
in.
bottom. Yeah, go back into the bottom of that, the far away one at the bottom of the bottom. What does that normally say right there?
That should
Do we know?
say black truffle infused.
Okay, go back
with
up to
6 ounces.
it. I'm curious if it just like really blurred it out or if it did mangle it. Okay, so it did.
It mangled it
Yeah.
again. Like this is for a 3:4 image on mobile, so you would never
You would
see
never see
that.
it.
But at the same time, like it's still got hotter sauce, like in that far of the distance, which to me is pretty impressive. With also telling it to put it in depth in the room, right? Like and like add it as like a vanishing point, which was like okay, because then I can use these as like keyframes, right? I wanted to use them as keyframes for video, but taking that, staggering them instead, swapping the food item. Of course, you guys all know you can do this stuff. This one I was impressed with. It almost got it. I thought it was going to get it. Almost. It's like let's stagger it. One up, one down, one up, one down. This one, black truffle still here. I almost had it. Like this is
Oh,
see what I said?
yeah.
Like it has black truffle hotter sauce up here, but it's facing this way, so it has again this would be an easy edit now, but I was like if it can do this, that's pretty impressive, right? So this was that I'm taking them and now you can vary. I'm just swapping the product, which if anyone's in the marketing space or has done Facebook or any sort of like mobile advertising stuff before, a lot of times you want to version your assets. So this to me is crazy that I can just sort of version it real quick and keep everything very clean with how just like all right, we like this image, let's do it with 3 different hot sauces. Now we have 3 different assets. That's going to be anything, right? So that was one thing that I was just like, this is crazy, because that'll lead into something we talk about with Kling later. But this one was really what started to like blow my mind. Was like I took this car and then said, like I gave it a prompt as if like we're a design agency and we're pitching to Subaru or pitching to Red Bull how we're going to design the car. And I asked it to just like create the design and then like label its work and the performance modifications that I was making so in the image, right? So it came up with it's like, oh, we're going to add this, we're going to add this, we're going to add this. And then I was like, cool, let's do the engine now. So then it took the keyframe and did the engine, which the details in the engine, I don't know what's anatomically correct here, but I was like, that's a lot of good detail in there. Plus then also adding this. And then like, all right, now create a contact sheet, 6 shots, and then create lifestyle. So it's like you can bring something to life like real quick with that, which I was like, whoa, this is pretty impressive. But if I go to, I'll show you actually the video here.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Because the video you can see it handling from in VO3, VO 3.1, I believe it is. But you can just take these and now the consistency is what's good because it makes things good for keyframes like this, right? Like you can see it going from one thing to the next and the consistency stays pretty strong. There's definitely some little morphs here and there, but like going from one thing to the next, so awesome. Like kind of this motion graphic style aesthetic. Not everything's perfect. I would say a lot of the stuff, if you wanted to do it in real life, had to get fixed in post. But just being able to do this now because the level of consistency is so good, like that everything is sort of mathematically correct and you don't have like the morphing, like the car doesn't
It's less obvious. Yeah, I mean, you really got to
Yeah.
be looking for those inconsistencies or those morphs. Like you said, it's not an obvious morph, which it's been the case for the longest time.
Yeah. That's like, to me, that was always like the thing with the first round of this was when I was doing the car stuff and I was doing keyframe to keyframe. Like you could see some subtle morphs, but it was really like anatomically correct, which is like, all right, so it's like basically creating a 3D model in there, and it's and it's good. It doesn't suck. This one was the one I wanted to think this was the one that I wanted to show. Maybe no, that's the actual workflow itself. Where is it? This was fun. So I just took a mood board here, like of like just random car designs that I liked, and was like, all right, basically like create me like a blank template car, like off this like sort of modification style, right? So it came up with this sort of Ferrari looking mod car here,
Sick.
and yeah, I think it's I forget which Ferrari that actually is, but then I was like, yo, let's give me vintage Polaroid branding that I pulled from Pinterest, which I was like, oh, this is
Let's
cool.
go.
Some of these, right? Just like, let's see what we can do here. Like, basically design the car. And it was like, bang. I was like, yo, what?
Ah,
It's like, hold on.
ridiculous.
But then I was like, let's isolate this. And I mean, you got Smile Please, Polaroid, you got the color pack film, Castrol, Pirelli. You have all this little branding. You have little like pictures here. You got AGIP or AGIP. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's the gas station or the fuel company. But it like added like little Polaroid like images in there too. And I'm like, damn, like this is off that prompt, and this is what we're coming up with. Like those two, like taking that branding and then applying it in like a very constructed aesthetic, I would say. Then of course using stuff like Weavy, you can go in and vary it into infinity here. You can get all your different angles and the different way that this thing could look. But again, like I just loved how it applied the design. And it
I love
also, because the one thing that was impressive to me outside of this was, let me see if I have it here, is because the film was sort of vintage looking or the look over here was sort of vintage and faded like this, it put some dirt on the car. I don't know if you can see it. Like it makes the paint look like it's like
yeah.
Sort of got like dirt and stuff on the car, which I'm like, cool. I don't know why I like that. But dude, that was, to me, that was like super, super fun. And then, playing with the design element of it and sort of outpainting things like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. I can't get enough of it. But it's like, again, it's endless. This was the dumb stuff I was doing with the Island Boys over here with little
Billy.
Donald and Bill here. Just part. This is what I was talking about, by the way, before when I was mentioning, like, it didn't really have a good like aesthetic eye. It was like way more bland than this. You wouldn't get like cropped compositions or like tilted frames or anything that was like really sort of creative in that sense. It wasn't necessarily doing that, which I was like, this is cool. Like I'm happy that you can do this now. You can get some of this get some more of this like absurd stuff. Like this wasn't easy. These types of shots weren't easy with it before. Getting anything like this wasn't really that easy. This definitely was not easy with it before. Like getting a sort of like over the shoulder, sort of like deep depth of field with all the composition, all the other details that are going on. So I was like, this is so sick to have this all kind of come together right now in one tool. And I'm just loving it, dude.
I think that's worth repeating, which was like that creative element of the shot. I mean, I don't even know if I noticed that until you just mentioned it. I mean, you're right though. That wasn't there before.
No. I could go back and look at all of it, and I was trying to break it with system prompts, where it was like never this, always do, like I had to have like a laundry list of system prompts to get there. But dude, that's the cool thing, is that we should hit on some of the Google Studio stuff too, for anyone if anyone's been vibe coding at all. I've been sort of addicted to it over the last week for these little tools. But like Nano you can build little mini workflows and apps for yourself in Google AI Studio with like a single prompt. It's really easy. They've made it so simple and so good in Google AI Studio that you can just build whatever you want. Like I've built a couple tools here just to show a few of them. Like this one, the prompt here was I want to build an outpainting tool with Nano Banana or whatever it's called, Gemini Image Pro 3. And just connect your API key from your account, and then you can start generating, and you only pay for what you generate. You don't have to have a subscription to it, right?
Pull it up real quick.
Am I not sharing?
No.
All right, let's see. That's my bad. Let's see. Screen. So, like this one, pretty simple. I just built an outpainter. Like, how we were talking about that the other day with Midjourney, how like nothing can sort of context-aware outpaint the way that we want it to.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, let's just let's see if we can run something quickly here. Use one of these images. Let's not use that one because that one's cropped. Let's see. This one, maybe? All right, cool. Let's do this one. So, yeah, I just uploaded image, right? No prompt necessary. I can select, let's do 1 by 1. Let's do 9 by 16. Let's do...
Oh, nice. You can multi-select, too.
21,
nice.
9. Yeah, and then 3 by 4. Just generate variations, right? Like this is... And it's all... Now it's connected to 4K, so it's going to upscale and outpaint at the same time, which... I can do a lot of different things with this now. Like this is just a very simple tool, but again, something that's useful. I can batch process. Again, if you're thinking about this for marketing assets or whatever, you could build this into an auto crop feature. You can build this into whatever. This is just one use case of it, right? So, like that's one thing I've built. I've built like a little editor for myself, which is a little bit more so. This needs a lot more work, but I can go on there and like sort of edit the way I want to. With, how sometimes there's like free pix editor is like a little bit confusing as to like what the annotations and like, oh, you can also do this, but then you can do the healing brush, but you can also do like,
there's that they have that replace and
erase
right by each other.
Yeah. So, this is what I was doing the same thing here was like, how do I just like sort of trim this down and just like make it what I need to make it? And then, if I want to add like the annotations here, like, remove the sunglasses, I can also then, just say remove the sunglasses. I can add a reference image to the sunglasses if I wanted to replace it. So, you can do the brush here, whatever you need. Erase this stuff if I want to. It's all sort of like customizable, which is what I like. And then also I don't have to pay a subscription for some of this stuff. Whenever I use it, it's the API hit, whatever that cost is, like 20 cents, maybe 15 cents per image with Nano Banana at 4K. So it's not like I have to pay like $30 a month for some of this stuff. I just pay for when I use it, which is great. Because then, building something a little bit more chaotic, right? Where it's like, all right, let's put the reference image in. Let's have it like extract the style, sort of create the anchor scene, and then create sort of different shots around it, and, have it label it, and you can build your own tools in here. It's really damn cool. So I'm super into it, as a way to just like have fun, build the archives here within the studio, building like different little prompt libraries if you want to in here. There's so much that you can play with, but you can build an upscaler in here. That's another example of something that you can build in legitimately 10 minutes. I want to use Nano Banana Pro or Gemini 3 Pro as an upscaler. I give you an image, you enhance the texture and the detail at 4K using whatever. Enter. And then it's like you can hit the paste, hit it, you get your four sort of outputs, and then rock and roll, right? So there's so much now. Like I don't even know where to place my time.
This is the best and the worst time ever for ADHD brains.
Yeah.
The best, the worst. I mean, try focusing on one thing for longer than 10 minutes, man. I mean, my God. There's like so many things I want to do, and it's just like, can't do 90% of them. I don't have time. But hey, one other thing on the Nano Banana front. That is a conversation too that this makes its way into the client work, and maybe for those that are also doing client work, this could be interesting. But it's like think about it like this, right? If you've got a certain style of thing that you're going to do, part of a project or a campaign, and it's maybe something that you would do again. Once you create that first asset, you essentially have a style reference core image foundation, whatever you want to call it. And you now have the ability to shortcut that workflow because you've created it once. And all the, the times after that, you reference that thing, right? So you could almost build up this style reference library of the creative, assets or campaigns that you're delivering. And I think that's really, really valuable here because you're making it repeatable and you're lowering the barrier to entry that other people that may not be really in depth with these tools could also use. And I think that's an approachable way to hand things off, right? And activate a team to start doing this stuff as well. It's just like, hey, look, like if we know we're going to do this, we've created the style, right? All you got to do is plug this in and do a very simple natural language 1 to 2 sentence prompt on top. And you're going to get something very predictable and consistent, right? So that's the way I'm also thinking about everything that I see with Nano Banana and stuff on X, for example. It's just like once somebody creates that thing, I don't actually need that prompt that you have. I could just use that image as the reference, right? So, and also there's also one other interesting thing here. You can take an image, and I think some people know this, but just in case that you don't, because I think it's not super obvious, but like I could just take this, copy, and let's go here. And is it like that? Well, how do I do it? I think you would have to create it first, or I would upload it. But essentially what I'm trying to say is this: once I've created something, I just instead of dragging it here, I could drag it in here and it gives me the prompt.
Generates. I didn't even know you do that.
So that's also interesting because this is applying it specifically to the model, right? Like this in theory should be an optimized prompt. And actually that was the first time I saw this give me the option for a JSON format.
Well, that's been working really well with Nano. Super
well. I'm interested to see it here on FreePick because they have that character limit of 2,500, and a lot of those, those JSON prompts they run longer than 25. That's interesting.
Not as crazy. The images isn't as crazy on the JSON side of stuff than as you think. Like the video ones, there's a lot because there's a lot of different variables.
That is true.
To play
that
with.
Is true.
But
that is true.
It works really well. Same thing with, Flux. Flux is optimized for JSON prompting as well for anyone who's a Flux nerd in here. Like that's the new Flux 2 model is the way they released it. Even it looked like that's kind of like the preferred method of prompting. But that's gets hyper precise control. So, that's the one thing.
The natural language of the models. It's more binary.
Going back to when we're talking about Studio too, I should probably mention this. If you have a Google account, you have Gemini, it's really good at like helping you instruct the Google AI Studio. So if you don't know what you're doing, it says Gemini, and like I'm gonna package this idea up and so I can bring it into Google Studio.
Perfect.
But the system prompts is what it's insanely good at. So like when you're working within Google Studio, and like if you wanted to create a very certain aesthetic, like say I wanted that 9-shot aesthetic thing, I'm going in there saying I never want to have like people looking at the camera, so it's always candid, right? That's all you have to type in. It'll go and update the entirety of the system prompt to fit that. You can hit like if then sort of, if then statements, which you can't do in a lot of the workflow builders because they don't have the ability to sort of connect the dots that way. You'd have to like build like a lot of architecture. If it's like, oh, if the person is shot from a medium shot in the reference image, then, always use X to determine what the bottom half looks like.
You can start to branch it off. Yeah.
It can be really, really control focused. Like, oh, if you want to have a shot of someone and they're holding a water bottle, but you want the macro of the water bottle, right? It's like always then show the hand and the sleeve or whatever is like in there. So it's like if this happens, if so you can really go deep.
Hey, I like that if then logic. I hadn't really thought about that. That's a really interesting thing. And I'm glad that you brought that up too, because that same thing is true, obviously, with ChatGPT. some of the things I've done with GPTs are the same thing. I have it create the instructions for me, right? I'm saying, hey, I'm trying to create this with the goal of this, right? Ask me questions, right? Because I want you to ultimately build out the custom instructions for me, right? And so you go back and forth and then it builds it for you, right? You don't have to be overthinking how you're putting it together. It does it in the optimal way. This is similar to that. And I also, that if then thing is super interesting because
it's huge.
You could then iterate on custom GPTs in that way too, right? Or same with Gemini in this case, right? It's just like, I want to think about if then logic here, right? And I'm going to give you an example. Help me identify other if then examples, right? And so you're starting to create like this one thing that is already specified use, but now you're going like that next, you're going the dream within the dream inception style, bro.
Yeah. That's like,
you know what I mean?
That's like, again, like, going back to some of the other stuff that we've showed earlier before, like before I was more so into Gemini, doing this with it just like sort of updating on its own when I was writing these system prompts, like really detailed. Like a lot of times, some of the prompts that were auto-generated would mention the character's appearance, but they'd mention the shoes, right? Now we know what happens if it's the shoes and you say you want a close-up, but you say the shoes in the prompt, like it's not going to be a close-up, it's going to be a full body shot. So it's like if the specific, ask is for a close-up and, you think it should have the shoes in the prompt, like a close-up should only have whatever portion of the person, so only mention the shirt and the hat. Right, like that's sort of like those if and then statements that just eliminate errors when you're doing this stuff automated. So this sounds like we're talking about like real engineering here, but it's just frustrations over time that you figure out.
Well, I don't know, man. I think for me there was a nice unlock there, that you brought up, which was the if then. I mean, because we all know the context of what to include. We all know the context of what not to do or what to exclude. But I think the if then provides another variable route that allows you to go very deep and branch off, very specifically into other directions. And it's almost like a surgical precision in that sense, right? Because then, again, less iterations after that, right? Because you've now unlocked a new level of context.
Yeah, you're not doing this if you haven't been failing with image or video generation for a long time and know that that's what's going to happen. Like it knows that if I mention the shoes is that it's not going to be a close-up, right? Like that's just so much failure that you go and build in ahead of time. And it's just like, okay, cool. Right. So now it's like, it's cool. It's like if anyone's been following us from the beginning, right? We've started with everything as small as tokens and we've gotten into like more complex stuff on creation. Now we're into more so like system building and like system building at scale. Like there is a natural progression to it all. Like it does start at the bottom. I don't think you can really just start at the top. Like I'm going to build these crazy systems or image generation. It's like,
yeah,
you can maybe get lucky a few times, but you'll run into the same stuff. Right? That's where you see those N8N workflows on LinkedIn and everyone's like, here's this like N8N workflow I built that shoots out 700 different marketing assets and posts them right to your Facebook ads account.
Sounds
like
so great. Oh,
like
really? Like, and you still fall for it. You're just like, oh my God.
Because like the system prompt is like, take this image and turn it into a meta ad creative. And like, that's it. There's like nothing else. And it's just like, everything is center framed and out painted around. It's like, this is the like worst quality stuff I've ever seen. So
that's what drives me nuts about like I would say it's really bad on Instagram right now. The Instagram crowd schlepping for comments, this, and then setting it up with manychat so you get the auto DM, and then you got to sign up for something, and or you got to follow me first, okay? Then you get to it, and it's just like there's no meat on the bone, bro. There's nothing here. There's nothing here.
Very, very good intel from a few different tools because I was asking, I was starting to get like genuinely. Like, how can some of these posts on Instagram blow up all the time and there's nothing to them? And then like, I see that they're using the affiliate code. So I'm asking like, are they actually like generating anything? And they're like, they generate no cash, just clicks. Like, okay. So it's all empty. It's all empty.
Vanity. They just want followers.
Yeah. There's like nothing of substance because they're not giving away anything decent.
I mean, that's how you erode trust right away, though. I mean, like, if I know your shit's trash, I'm never coming back.
Yeah. I mean, that's just why, the direct quote from two tools. The only place we get super high volume, consistent conversions. X, LinkedIn, YouTube. So, hey, I think we're on the right platforms here.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree,
it's,
man. I agree.
You know, that was interesting to me too, because I was wondering how Instagram plays into everything, if TikTok, really plays into it. But really, I mean, YouTube makes obviously a lot of sense. But good to know that LinkedIn and X are also there's real people on there, and that's it's not just evolving Pokemon videos, which is what I see every time I open Instagram. That's just the same video every single time. It's got 6 million views.
Is it the Bulbasaur?
All of them. It's for some reason every time I
Bulbasaur.
open my For You page, it's just evolving Pokemon, or here's this guy and a shark smash, and then it's why is this? But that's top of funnel content, I guess. It's just I've never been able to live in that world. And then
My God,
death threats.
Hey, what I'm gonna call something out here. That's the first time I've ever seen you use a water bottle that wasn't your green cup. Just now.
Thanks, Midjourney. This
Boom.
is. I needed this because now I don't have to go to my kitchen every 10 minutes, and I can actually
It's a big boy.
Cold.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Nice.
Big fan of that bottle. I think I've used that bottle every day since I've had it. So shout out Midjourney.
Great toy. It's a great gift. I've always loved when I get these, because I'm I use these things all the time. So it's it's a nice
And every time I get one of those, my wife says, "How many of those do you need?" And I said, "I need them all, babe. I need them all."
They're nice matte. It's when it's a matte finish, and you're oh, it feels good too. The texture is good. It's yeah. It's just holding this thing, and then Faye loves it too because it looks like a toy.
Faye made her way onto the thumbnail last time. Enjoyed that. I'm excited to see where this next thumbnail goes. Keep an eye out for that. We're gonna wrap up here. Thank you guys for joining us. Always good to be with you. We're coming to you a little bit earlier because we missed Friday because of the holiday. Yeah, Rory. Glad we caught up on this one, man. This is a lot of good stuff here.
This was good. Of course, there's going to be more, just so everyone is dialed in. There's been a lot of hype this week. I don't even know when this one's going to go live. There's been a lot of hype this week about a video model that's going to change everything. I don't know if I'm getting my expectations up. I feel like it was a real big situation this week. A lot of people, shooting that out on X. Don't know, but
is it hype? Is it not?
We'll see. We'll be here to talk about it whenever it does. So, as you all know, if you've been here for this long, subscribe, please. And then also tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your mailman, tell your someone at the dry cleaning. If you're going to the dry cleaner,
this is how we go from 30 to 40. We need the dry cleaners, the mailman,
cashier at the grocery store. What else can we get? Uber driver. Uber driver would be good when they listen to
It's a slow grind. Yeah.
Truck driver.
All right, brother.
We don't discriminate.
Well, we love you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.
See ya.